Hello again to my Patreon peeps. I am making a second recording for this week's Zoomy Zoom so that I can share with you the state of ripples. The state of ripples, I hinted at it in the last recording. We have lots of good things going on. I'm very proud of the fact that I was just working on ripples number 1,300 and what is 41. So for 1,341 weeks. We've been getting together for 60 seconds. I am going to tell you a secret. I have set the date of the final ripples, and it is September 21st of 2037. And that is when we will hit, if you keep sending me quotes, if you keep reading them and I'm still around, I will have just turned 70 years old and it will be Ripples number 2000. Shut up. Like how, like if I get to 1,000, sorry, if I get to 2,000 weeks, I'm like, I will feel so good. If we're still Patreoning, then I will be graduating Patreon. I'm assuming I won't be doing any or very many speeches at that point. I don't plan on dying immediately at 70, but I do plan on saying this is the time when I stop being the Ripples guy and I'll still be Uncle Paul, and that'll be it. Um, but don't tell anyone. That's a secret because I reserve the right to change my mind if all things go to hell. Um, Ripple's project overall, 26 years. Da, 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 da. Oh, some of you know that when you signed up for Ripples on the website, you were able to give a special day that you got a bonus Ripple. And we described the special day as either your birthday or an anniversary, a day that you want to celebrate because it has something meaningful happy, it has something meaningful hard or sad. And people who signed up for Ripples at a presentation I gave may have over the years gone and found the little update. I think it says update preferences or update profile at the bottom of the Ripples because I've hinted at this. But for as long as we've been on MailChimp, I've been able to send a special day Ripple to people on that day. And so one of the coolest things for me every December on my calendar is get ready to update the special day on January 1st so that starting at 11 a.m. on January 1st, they're getting a new special day. And I'm very lucky that there are two people that their special day is January 1st, and they almost always email me to tell me, thank you for my special day Ripple. And it verifies, oh, good, the new one is going out and it's working. Well, I decided, and I'm not going to tell you too much about this because I want it to be a surprise if this is you. And by the way, if you are not on and you don't get a special day Ripple, the next Ripples that come, just look down at the bottom. It'll say something like update profile or update preferences, and you'll have to send yourself a second email to access it. But then it'll work, and you add it. And here's the cool thing: is that I decided to an experiment where I replaced the little image of the book that says "Buy my book" at the bottom of each Ripples, and I offered to send them a little treat in an envelope if they just filled out this form. And it's a tiny little treat, but there's 6,000 people that they are signed up to get the special day Ripple. So I was only going to try this in January just to see, but the right amount of people are doing it that I have a system set up so when I get the email that says somebody requested a special day treat, I can copy and paste the into a field or into a document that I have on my computer and then boom, outprints an envelope, and then I have the little treat right here. I'm not going to show you that I pre-package, and I put a little bonus treat. There's two things they're actually getting, and this is two things I wanted you to know. One, I would not have even for a second thought about doing this if it wasn't for you, because I have hundreds and hundreds of stamps. Oh, this isn't my stamp folder. Where's my stamp? Oh, here it is. Um, I buy stamps every time I hear the forever stamps are going up, I buy a bunch of stamps. And so I have literally hundreds of different kinds of stamps that I use. Elephants and, oh, I'm not showing you those because those are so awesome. And I'm going to mail you something sometime. And paintings and blah, blah, blah. Every kind of love stamps. Have you seen the new love stamps? I just ordered a couple sheets. But they say forever on them. They're good forever. The Keith Haring design, so fabulous. Available at your local post office. Um, a portion of the proceeds, if you order today, go not really. Um, So, number one, I would only have thought of this if I had the cushion of money coming in from Patreon supporters every month that I knew I could just spend this money. And then if too many people requested it, I don't want to spend that much money and or I don't want to spend the time. But it was a lovely amount. It was so great. Here's the second thing I was so excited to tell you this. You all are super Ripplers. I see some of you every month. I've talked to you. I've gotten to hug many of you in person. Almost every single person that has requested ripples is a name I don't recognize. And oh, look, there's the little thumbs up. Yay. And there you get some fireworks because I did two thumbs up. Um, Almost every single person is not somebody whose name I recognize. And the little field that says, is there anything you want to say to the Ripples guy? About half of them are telling me, I've been on Ripples for 10 years. You've gotten me through these really hard times. And I've been able to, write a little note in their little treat. So they're getting a handwritten note from the Ripples guy that they've been following a long time. And you and I know I couldn't even do that for all the time for all 200 Patreon peeps, much less 25,000 people. But here I have this really simple way to make a little extra bonus deposit in somebody that took the time to click on a link and fill out a brief form. That's kind of cool, right? I am so proud of that. I'm so excited. Um, for Team Ripples, I want to let you know if you don't know about the Daily Splash, let me remind you. Oh, Lauren, you're here. Lauren is here. Wait, were you here for the beginning when I was talking about Jen's book? You can either unmute or type. Because I'll. Oh my God, shut up. We have to go back to the beginning. The Pebble. I finished the book on Sunday. I was going to email you. Shut up. I will send you the recording. I raved. This was the Pebble. This book is everything. You have got to convince Jen to come on a Zoom with us so that we can interview her and we can hear all about this book. The people Monday night, like four people ordered the book. It is so awesome, Lauren. It was so awesome. I, it's been everything for me not to tell you. I read the book. I love the book. It is amazing.
I'm so glad.
Oh, I'm telling you, we'll connect afterwards. And
Okay.
I just saw your in the text chat, and I was like, oh my gosh, Lauren's here, and I didn't see your name
I'm
when.
I'm so sorry that I'm like so late. I didn't get notifications today because I was like trying. I was like, no, I gotta be zen. I'm gonna turn off my notifications. It was an important day. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. No, no, it's totally fine. I'll make sure that that you'll get a copy of the video and you can see it. Now I've completely forgot what I was talking about though. Wait, Zoom, Patreon. Oh, the Daily Splash. So lots of you know HTTP. The Daily Ripple yesterday, Gloria is saying, was so perfect. If people, yes, 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 yes. I love that one, Gloria. So let me go to it on my website or on the browser, because then, so hopefully you all know, come on, Wesselman. Hopefully you all know that you can go to the Daily Splash website and the cool thing is every day it automatically has a quote. I work on these. I am 3.5 years ahead in harvesting quotes for the Daily Splash, and I'm a year and a half ahead of writing the little mini ponders ahead. So if I die tomorrow, there's still going to be Daily Splashes for all, the 2026 ones are actually all uploaded. The guy that uploads them for me, he uploaded all of 2026 already. And 2027 is almost done that I'll be giving to him soon. If you look at this website on your phone, you can, if you're in your phone's native browser, Safari on an iPhone or Chrome on a Google phone, and you hit the share button, you can actually find the little save to home screen button, and it creates a little smiley face that sits as an icon on your phone, and people love that. But some of my Patreon peeps don't know that The old way of getting a text that we used to be able to, for $100 a month, allow up to 1,000 people to get the daily splash as a text, went away. It was going to start costing $800 a month. And I said, bye bye. I did find a relatively inexpensive way to do it for a few dozen people or up to a few hundred people. And I offered that, and right now 50 of you are getting the text, getting the Daily Splash as a text. And here's what's great. I had a decision to make 2 years ago. The more credits I bought, the cheaper it was per text to send out. Like so, when I send it to 50 people, that's actually 50 texts. And by by putting $2,000 of credits into this thing, it is a penny. It is a little bit more than a penny. So literally right now, I am spending 54 cents a day to text 54 people. And I went and looked as of Monday, we still have $1,500 in our little kitty because it turns out that many dollars got me cheap and it lasts a long time. So the good news is lots of people love getting that text. And if you don't know about it, you can either message me or I'm gonna try to remember to put it in the show notes for this summary. But you can always reach out to me, reply to any ripples. Paul, what's that um, text number for the Daily Splash? A couple more things I have to tell you, or it'll just hurt me. Um, okay, I'm embarrassed to admit that I came up with an idea that I it is ridiculous. I did not have before, and I'm getting ready to go to Wisconsin for a speaking engagement. I'm only going to be there briefly, and I had this idea. There's a whole bunch of Madison area Ripplers, sorry, Patreon people. And I thought, what if we had a Team Ripples Patreon community meetup when I was in Madison? And I reached out to a bunch of people whose address I had that I knew were in the Patreon program. I want you to know that if you live in the Madison area or it's close enough to drive, it turns out one of our Patreon members lives in an apartment building that has a room perfect for us. They're setting us up on the east side near Old Brick Gardens in Madison, and I forgot the date now. In mid-February, shortly after um, Valentine's Day, I'm going to meet up with the folks right after I started, again, I mentioned it in one of the updates to all Patreon people. And when I did that, I'm like, wait, there are dozens and dozens of Cincinnati area Ripplers. Why have we not had a meetup here? And then literally 5 minutes later, somebody, a Patreon member, responded to the update where I had whispered this about the Madison meetup. She goes, would you ever do that in Cincinnati? I was like, shut up, I would. And I see Mark Freeman's pictures above me, and I'll say the next time I'm in Virginia, we'll have a meetup in Virginia. We will go Tennessee, Becky. I'll come find you. And Laura's in Appleton, right? Uh, and sorry, I'm just reading the people that are at the top of my screen. Um, Somebody was talking about wanting to drive down on this Sunday afternoon, but I'm actually thinking I don't have any immediate plans, but the next time I'm up in the Fox Valley, we'll make something happen there. So I am all about seeing people in person. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking, besides hugs or high fives or whatever people want, we're going to have some Ripley treats with this. I want to take some selfies. And I have this idea that I've cooked up of replacing the picture of the book at the bottom of the ripples. I love having it down there. I would say a couple times a month somebody orders a book, and most of the time I'm able to if I know the person at all, I reach out and say, "Hey, who is this for? I can sign it for you, whatever." And Meredith reminded me to say to you all, anytime you all are wanting to send somebody a Hope Care package or anything like that, please put in the notes when you order or reach out to me first so I can personalize the heck out of it, sign it, put in some extra treats. I love doing that for people. But what I want to put at the bottom of Ripples is pictures of my Patreon peeps so that I can say, thank you, Craig, and all the Patreon peeps. One, as a way to hopefully keep spreading the word and getting a few more members of our Patreon community. But two, as a way so that every week I'm saying to you all, hey, you all, I love you, and showing you some pictures of your fellow people. So I'm very excited about that idea. The last two things I want to do a shout out. I am taking a class right now. I do not know why those balloons, those are not real balloons. Those were virtual balloons. I don't know what I did. If I just did something to create, I don't know. Some hand gesture created balloons. Um, oh yes, Virginia, Chiquilla. Yes. Okay, this Virginia idea. I'm intrigued by it. Um, darn it, what was I saying? What was the other idea? I lost it with balloons and going to Virginia. Did I, when you said shout out? Yes. I don't remember where it's going. What, there was one, there was, oh, Sister Joan, she taught me about Grateful Living organization, grateful.org, and I am taking a class with them right now to become a host for what they call Grateful Gatherings. And it is the idea of it is a series of monthly meetings where you focus on gratitude. And my thought is, I'm not sure they're going to let me do this, but I think they're going to let me um, sort of adapt our monthly Zoom calls and let it have a grateful gathering component. We might have to register, but they have all these amazing resources. They send out once a month this email that has some information, some a little video to watch or a little article to read or even just a picture to look at and then a couple paragraphs to read. And then part of what these Zooms could be is we spend just a little bit of time talking about gratefulness on a more regular basis. And so I am very intrigued about that. I see Sally's comment. I guess what we did in Lincoln a few years ago was that was basically a Patreon meetup, wasn't it? Like that, I guess I have done Team Ripple's Patreon community meetup because there were 4 or 5 of us in Lincoln. There it is. I forgot. The last thing that I will say, and then I know we're past time. People need to go, and I completely understand. Is some of you may be getting a link from me about a Yum Yuck survey. And it's a very simple questionnaire. I'm not going to send it to everyone at once. I'm going to put in small batches of people. And you don't have to fill it out if you don't want, but it's a very quick, it's kind of like on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you right now? What's the lowest? What's the highest? But I want to know what's yummy in your life right now and what's yucky. And I have been needing a way to make more of those short 1 to 2 minute inspirational videos that people like seeing on social media. I like sending to you all, but it's hard to get inspired to know what to say at them. And I did this to like 4 or 5 people last fall, and it instantly, some people's yuck, I was able to make a video that was specifically for them and text them, but I kept it generic enough that I could apply it to lots of people. So I'm going to be working on that. Um, I think that is a good place to leave it. Other than to say to you, the coolest, weirdest thing happened. Yes, I'm going to end with this. I will have to go in a little bit, but in just a minute, I will stop the recording and people can leave the room and wave goodbye. Or if you've got a few minutes, we can chat for a little bit. But at the end of Monday night, I did not record it. I got off and I felt good about how the session went. It was good. It was like this one. I felt good about it, but I also had a very yucky, mm, a very complex set of thoughts and feelings. And there was this swirl, and it felt familiar to me, but I couldn't say to you what it was. And I went out to I took a quick shower and I went out to the couch and and Jamie said, "How did it go?" And I said, "It went good, but I'm feeling." And he was trying to ask me some questions, and then I just blurted out, "I'm having a vulnerability hangover." And I wasn't even sure that was accurate. I vaguely remember learning the term from Brene Brown, and I remember us talking about it at some point in one of these Zooms several years ago. So I blurted it out, and I'm like, "Is that even right? I'm sure that's a thing." And I Googled it. And do you know now when you Google something, you get that AI summary at first? And I start reading it, and it is like they read my mind. Like it was an exact description of what I was experiencing right then, thoughts and feels. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is what I'm having. And it's like these thoughts and feelings that you have when you share a lot and you're not sure how it was received. Because one of the things that happens is we wrap this up and you all leave and I leave. And then I'm like, what just happened? How would, And so I wanted to keep this to show, I wanted to capture this to show it to Jamie. So I've never tried to capture these summaries before. And so I do it on my phone and then I see a thing at the bottom after I selected it. It's like, do you want to draft a Gmail with this content? And I was like, yes. And I go over and I open Gmail to send it to Jamie, and it has suggested people to send it to. And this is either Define Universe or the Google Gods and or some combination. There were five names. No, there were six names. And they were all people who were just in the call or who were registered for Wednesday's session. And I was like, this is creepy and weird. Like, this is Google, this is Big Brother and it's the universe, maybe. I was like, do you think I should? And so I ended up deciding God or Google wanted me to email those six people. And so I sent an email titled The Special Six, and I told them the whole story, and I sent them this content. And two cool things happened. Every person ended up responding in the next 24 hours, telling me this is spot on. This is so amazing. I've never heard of this term. It was useful. Or, oh, by the way, I really love Monday Night Session. This is really freaky. Five of the six people that I sent it to live in the Madison area and had expressed interest in attending the Madison meetup. So again, I was emailing them. So maybe this isn't a complete coincidence, but it is freaky because I didn't even notice that until two of them replied and said, hey, by the way, I've never met you before. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in Madison. Thank you, God, or thank you, Google, or whatever. That is cool. Um, the Twilight Zone, exactly, Melissa. So I'm going to stop the recording here. If my peeps that are watching this recording look for all the links or let me know what I can get you, and I will hopefully see you in person or a future call soon.